Over to Taylor.
Sorry, shame Scotty, the gremlins are getting you. Listen, I hope the Ngumas come across and show themselves. Hukumuri has been sleeping, but I think he might be coming down the road now. Ow, tree bit me. I hate it when you get bitten by trees. Goodness, they've got sharp teeth in South Africa. Where did he go? Where did he go? Let's have a little squizzy here. I'm waiting for Tax to point him out to me because I don't actually know where he's gone. Let's ask Villiers. Is he still going? Oh, he's in front. He's on the road. That's how you spot leopards. I'm half asleep today. I don't even see that. Let's see. I'm trying to think what's going to be our best bet. If we should... We're just going to stay behind. Texans in front of us. His guests are having the most unbelievable safari. Lucky them that they got such a great guard. Come on, we're coming up to those mud wallows now. Now, I really want to get in front of him because we want to be with that golden light. Let's see what he's going to do. He's just up there. There he is again. Just having a little look around. Humpus, you wanting to know if Hukumuri will kill Hosana if they meet? Most certainly. I don't think Hukumuri will give any of the young males around a chance, like Tingana did, or even in fact Mvula. He's a new male to the area. This is unfamiliar territory. Well, he's starting to get familiar with it now, but he's not going to tolerate any of those young boys. So they need to be careful, and hopefully Hosana will realize this, because unfortunately he's not going to give them a second chance. He's just scent marking now. I'm hoping he doesn't cross out. You know what we might do, Seb? I want to get around. Let's go. I'm taking this gap here behind this car. We're going to do some off-roading. Hold on! Put your seatbelts on, everyone. We're going to do Sabi sand maneuver. Whee! Ferrari safari! Hold on to my camera. Watch branches. I want that golden light on him. For all of you. See, I do it for the fans. And then also hope we don't break the car in the process. Ew. We've got little nimble vehicles. No one else can do what we can do. Sorry, Sebastian's holding on for dear life. You okay there, Seb? Don't lose your camera. But I'm doing it for you as well, Seb. I'm going to get you in the best spot. You know me. La la, la 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 la. Now we're in front of him. Hang on. I just don't know what he's going to do. He's going to go down that pathway. If he is Seb, I'm going to go around the other side of the pan. Yeah, I think he's going. Okay, so you can see him. Sorry, everybody. I'm trying to figure out if he is going to drink here. And then if that's the case... Let me just show you. There we go. This is how we do. Make sure we don't go rolling into these little pans. He's deciding. Oh, it's a pity those clouds are saying how wonderful they were. I kind of wish there were a few less, because that golden light is now starting to disappear. But never mind. Still got him looking straight at us. Come on, boy. Come and have a drink right here. It would be ideal. There we go. A bit of a golden glow on him. Isn't that lovely? Look at that stunning coloration. He's almost got like jaguar-like markings, don't you think? Well, that's what I think, in fact. Sure, we're spoiled this afternoon. Absolutely spoiled. Come on, boy. You're walking right on the edge of the water. Stop and have a little drink for us. Look at that reflection, too. Wow. Nah, not having a drink. That is amazing. An inverted image. Beautiful. Woohoo! There we go. How cool was that? That's how we do. Like I said, that's a little sneaky maneuver there. He's just going around. Good boy. Don't cross out just yet. Now, Aiden, who is only 6 years old, I've been loving your questions lately. Thank you for all of them. You've said, why won't this leopard just be nice? He needs friends. Aiden, I agree. But unfortunately, he does not understand that. You see, for him, he doesn't want to keep Tamba or Hosana around because he's not the father. He's not the dad. So he would rather take them on and remove them from the area because they're going to be competition for him one day too. Remember, this male leopard is now coming. He wants to try and kick Tingana out, who's the resident king. And he doesn't need to have any more competition. And that's what Hosana and Tamba are. They're competition to him. So he will want them to move out of the area. That was epic. That was amazing. Well, we're going to try. Oh my goodness, we're going to try and get another view, but without further ado, I think Scotty D is hot on a spotted cat.
We are indeed. We've got a bit of a surprise for you guys. And while you were with Hukumuri, we thought we'd just position ourselves in an area that if our surprise was to continue towards us, we would have got some great low-angle views of it. But it appears that it hasn't. It's taken another route. So we have to just work out what that route was, or is. Sure, we'll find it somewhere around one of these corners. If we don't, I'm going to feel like a real muppet. Oh. Hold on, Dave. It's Hosana. And you wouldn't believe it, but he actually came as we turned off onto the off-road tracks that led up to Tamba's kill. We found him, which means he was definitely in that area, and I'm almost tempted to rush back there and see what Tamba's up to, because if he is still there, which I'm guessing he will be, it'll be really interesting that Hosana gave in to him, because Hosana is a little bit bigger. Let me just reposition again now. He's trying to sneak his way down to the Vuyatela Dam here without being spotted by anything. There's not nearly as much game as there usually is down here, but there's one Inyala that he's spotted that he's trying to avoid. I really am frustrated that we missed out on whatever happened between him and Tamba, and I guess it proves my theory completely wrong. I was expecting there to be no action with Tamba, yet completely the opposite was the case, because that would have been some fascinating interactions to be able to capture and witness and share with you. Let's move again. Ah, Jersey lady, you doing your happy dance. That's wonderful to hear. I wonder if Tamba wasn't actually not there and possibly off having a drink somewhere. Now this leopard's checking very carefully to make sure there's not a leopard here having a drink. Anything is possible. I'm just assuming that Tamba was in fact on site. I think what he's looking at, and you can see is very intent, is some Inyala bulls that are behind us. Now he's just going to attempt to swivel all the way around and show them to you. There's two different sets. There's the one over there, and then two further off to the right of him. And that is who young Hosana is keeping a close eye on. Well done, Dave. There's the other two there. What was that? 3 there. Yeah, 3 there. So he obviously doesn't want to be seen by them, because they'll start barking. They've got a dog-like bark. And he doesn't want to give away his position. He looks fairly hungry, so I'm guessing that's why he's trying to be extra cautious. Hello, boy. Yes, Uniki certainly is a beautiful and regal cat. Both him and Tumba are fine specimens, and you tend to find with leopards, the young males are very, very appealing to the eye, and as a general, often as they become older, it's possibly less so. They become a little bit banged up and bruised and scarred and battered. But between him and Tumba, there are two exquisite young male leopards. This guy's slightly older than Tumba, I'm told. And his eyes are quite a different color. Tumba's got more of a greenish hue to its eye than old Hosana. Wes, you said he looks rather sad, and I guess, yes, he probably is a little bit sad and disgruntled because he knows there's another leopard around the corner that's still snacking on some kudu while he's got nothing. Are you really attempting to stalk from here? Surely, buddy. Get with the program. What have you seen? Have you seen something closer by? Because that Inyala is about 150 meters away. Not even a cheetah would attempt to stalk it. Are you going to go under our car? I think he might. He's gone under the back corner. I'll try and get a picture quickly of his tail to show you guys. Quick, Scott. Quickly. Oh, missed it. But he should be popping out literally underneath Dave at the moment. I can't believe you're in full stalk mode, because whatever you're trying to catch is miles away. And I'm told the bushwalker busy spying on us. I'm not too sure where from. There must be something closer by in the grass. What have you seen? Oh, it's the Egyptian geese. On that mound there, Davy. Uh-oh, they've spotted him already. They're already starting their alarm call. Ah, did you see something there? And that was pathetic, Hosana. What was that? What was that? What were you attempting to jump on there? Okay, very good. Well, why don't you guys see exactly where Steve is sniping us from?
Thanks, Scotty. How special is that? Not sure what he tried to catch there. It looked like a blacksmith lapwing. So we went back into the block and we found the tracks of Hosana coming north directly towards Vuyatela Dam, where I'd originally thought he might come because he'd want to drink. Rexon joined us much earlier in the drive. Him and his tracker drove around the block and assured us that he hadn't crossed the road. That's why we stayed in that block. But on tracking him out, we found very clear evidence of where he tracked across here, and now old Scotty's found him before us. So, terrible as it is, Scott has found him, but we have been on his trail for some time, the last 15 to 20 minutes, which has been super, super cool. And wasn't that marvelous? Okay, well, Scott's obviously got a much better look at him, so let's go to him and see if he's having a drink.
Welcome back, everyone. And just want to make sure that Taylor knows that the Nkuhuma Pride are on the property, because Hukumuri is now crossed out of our turf, so maybe she can race across there, and she does know about that, so that's the good news. So she's going to head off and see if she can't find the lions. And we're going to stay here, and I'm just going to keep quiet for a second. We'll actually be able to hear him lapping up the water. Thirsty boy. Look how he's trying to remain undetected. Sadly, those geese saw him coming from a long way off. They're moving just over there in the grass. Tricky to see, but there they are. And wouldn't that be cool, watching him try and catch a goose? It does happen from time to time, but they do get lucky with the birds. Something I've never actually seen happen, but it's something that I would love to see. Jersey lady, you say it's good to see him on the dam cam. It's probably been a while. He usually kind of stays further south than here. And this is definitely the closest I've seen him to camp since I've been here for the last 3 or 4 months. He's generally kind of hung along our more southern boundary. And he would have spent a lot of time here growing up, I'm sure. Lots of you will have lots of happy memories. Paula, you'd like to know if Hosana is the most social of all the leopards. I wouldn't be able to answer that question. I haven't spent enough time with him interacting with other leopards, and I don't think... Yeah, I mean, he has spent a lot of time with his father, but whether that's because his father tolerates him or... Yeah, I mean, it's just a tricky question for me to answer, and I think, to be honest, for anyone to answer, because none of us spend enough time knowing exactly what goes on with these animals when they are most active after dark. So there'll be too many missing pieces of information for anyone to categorically say who the most social is, in my opinion. And again, a lot of the time it's probably more through default than anything else that he will come across other leopards, or other leopards will come across him. Liz, you say the tip of its tail seems like it has a mind of its own, and yes, it does. Twitching from side to side. I love watching the tips of their tail moving about. Oh, he's evidently not finished with these Egyptian geese yet, and he's trying his best to sneak closer to them. How cool is this? Okay, well, you're going to have to get a lot closer than that, buddy. But maybe you just want to lay an ambush from here. Maybe that's the plan. Okay, everyone, we are going to be sending you back to Steve.
Thanks, Scotty. How marvelous is that? Well done on finding that beautiful prince. And I'm sure he's feeling much better after having himself a good drink. So our assumptions were correct, that he would have moved off to drink somewhere and not Chelepan. He came to Vuyatela Dam. So that is the cool thing about having other vehicles out here, is we're able to find animals. Herbie and I are just a little disappointed that the tracks crossed the road and were not communicated clearly with us, because we were actually walking in that area many hours ago. But that is the way the cookie crumbles. And here we have a beautiful Nyala bull who shouldn't go too close to the dam, because we know what's lurking down there. But he seems to be walking in a parallel sort of fashion right now. And there are more than one. There's at least 4 of them out in the clearing here. And this is kind of where they like to hang out, where they get a little bit more of a better view of any approaching lion or leopard. Yes, it is. Look how he's doing a bit of a posture. That is what Nyalas tend to do. It's a bit of displacement behavior. As he sees another bull approach, he raises the pilar erection of the hairs on the back, and he starts going into an elaborate sort of dance. He's not in a breeding size yet. He's still a little bit small, but he's definitely getting there. And as soon as his friend ran towards him, he decided to do his pilar erection and then stop altogether. So I'm not sure. The Nyala seem to be responding right now, and they're running directly towards the area where Hosana is. I see Scott is moving off over there. Jojo, it looks like a designer gnu. It looks like a Senzo of the African bushveld, indeed. So these Nyala are a little bit spooked out here. I'm not quite sure if they know what's going on. Maybe they are also subscribers of Safari Live and they know that we generally follow leopards. And Scott seems to be moving. It's possible that Hosana has moved slightly. I wonder if these Nyala actually clicked on the notification to know that there is an action broadcast in the making if Hosana comes any nearer. But in my opinion, a Nyala bull is a little bit too big for a cat of Hosana's size. But in saying that, we saw Tamba with a kudu the other day, so who knows what happens out here under the cover of darkness. All we can do is track it and spend time in telling you what we feel, we believe. Unique, I like your name as well. Designer Gnu, as we said before. Aren't they marvelous? So we are slowly making our way back. Hosana's left down there somewhere. I'm not sure where Scott has moved off to. It's possible Hosana's moved. So we're making our way back as the cover of darkness is starting to move over us. And it's going to be a beautiful night. The moon is going to be up very, very late. So it's going to be a beautiful night for stars. And for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere who aren't able to join us this evening, well, we're going to have a wonderful evening under the stars. We're going to slowly start making our way back. Herbie, off we go, my friend. Okay, so we are going to go over to Taylor, who I think is still with Hukumuri, and let's see what she's going to talk about in the final minutes of the
We're driving on a very bumpy road at the moment, so I'm trying to concentrate. Hang on. Oh, wow. Look at this. Is there a car? No. Okay, we're going to have a bit of obstructions here, but look what I'm going to show you very quickly. Look at the sunset. We can't really see the sun anymore, but the beautiful colors in the sky. Hey, what a way to end the safari. Leopard. Another leopard, very well done to, of course, Scott and Steve. Some great teamwork there. And then, of course, it's always good to appreciate the beautiful clouds at the end of the day. Now, I was going to race after the Nkuhumas because apparently they crossed from Simbambili into Djuma. And then they just kept on going. And it's quite a narrow section near Gari Gate. And apparently they're already in Buffels Hook. So there goes our plan out of the window. However, Rexon and Tuxon said that they would keep me informed as to their movements. And if they do turn back south or turn back west, they'll call us in right away. But for now, we're just going to go on a bit of a bumble. I'm mentally preparing myself to find a chameleon this evening too. That's definitely on the cards. So we'll do that at some point. Oh, wow. Mia, you've said that the sunset takes your breath away. It's beautiful. This is really, really pretty this evening, too. I love the contrast of the sort of pink, orange with the beautiful blue. I might even have to. Shall we do this again? I think it's time for an Insta story on the Safari Live page. Remember, Instagram, you can follow us. All you have to do is search for @Safari Live Official. And then again, we did this yesterday actually with the sunset. We'll do it again this afternoon. So I'm just going to sit quietly while I take this video because I think my voice ruins it kind of. Incredible. There we go. So now you'll be able to see that as well on the Safari Live official page. Once I get some cell phone reception, that should load on up. And we of course post pictures there all the time. So even when we aren't live, you can still get your fix. And you can see the highlights. You can see all the cool pictures from all the presenters, from the directors. Everybody is a keen photographer in Canada. They're very nice though. So remember to like that page. Off we go down Triple M. So we're on a very bumpy road at the moment. We are going to try and move off of this road. I've just forgotten where the next turnoff is. We'll basically just take the next turnoff to the left and then we'll go exploring. Is it time for lights? Nah, not yet. still a little bit on the light side. Hukumuri sadly crossed out. He crossed out at Little Gowrie, but we had the most amazing sighting of him. Short but sweet, but those are the best kinds of sightings. I bet you all agree. And, well, we wish him well on his adventure, and we hope to see him again soon. Ah, here we go. Hallelujah. There's a road to the right. Bet Sebastian is very thankful for this, though. Yeah. Although, you can't tell me, though, that it's worse than the roads in the Masai Mara.
Yeah, true.
Those ones were horrible. And they were long, exactly. Those had some serious corrugations. Anyways, well, we're going to carry on down this road and see where it takes us. Who knows, maybe we'll find some animals if we're lucky. Let's go see what Scott's up to now and where he's off to.
We thought we'd just race up to the site where Tumba had the kill this morning, and there was no sign of Tumba nor the kill. So who knows what may have happened? I mean, maybe young Hosana chased Tumba off, managed to get some scraps, and then fed on them, and then came down here. I guess we'll never know. So yeah, we just wanted to go and try and see what in fact was going on there. It would have been very interesting had we have still found Tumba there with some remains. It would have indicated that obviously he can stand up for himself against Hosana, even though Hosana is a little bit bigger and older than him. And Hosana's still snoozing here in the long grass, still looking very, very intently at the Egyptian geese. Those seem to be high up on his menu. This camouflage is incredible, and it's only once we get a bit tighter in that you can actually see him. And I'm guessing he's waiting for cover of darkness, and then he's going to try and launch a few attacks, although there's never really cover of darkness here because there's quite a few big lights that illuminate this area. So you'll be best off somewhere else if that's what he's hoping for. But for now, just taking a breather. He's been moving around a fair deal, it appears, this afternoon from when he was seen before drive on quarantine. Who knows what route he took to get to where we saw him at Tumba's Kill. He seems to have had a fairly busy time. How incredible was that sunset? Shoo-wee! Absolutely magical. One of the best we've seen in a while. So happy that Taylor stopped and managed to show you that in all its glory. Ah, very good. Well, it seems like the sunset views are not quite over just yet. Steve would like to see the view from his perspective.
Thank you very much. The Bushwalk team is on their way home. Can't help but to stop and watch the last rays of the sun setting. I'd like to thank Herbie for his assistance today, as always, and Senzo. We are going to be closing down for the night. We've had a marvellous day. Although we weren't able to find Hosana, he was found in the end, which is magical. Herbie, from you, from me, from Senzo, absolutely fantastic afternoon. I leave you with a moment with the sun. So folks, have a fantastic evening from the Bush to Walk team. We're going to go back over to Taylor for the rest of the drive, and we will see you tomorrow. Good night.
Awesome, Steve Volvo. I hope you enjoyed your bushwalk this afternoon. It sounded like a goodie. Now, we're really just bumbling. I feel like we were so special. We were so privileged today to see Hukumuri, and it was such a nice sighting of him too. So I'm not really too perturbed if we don't see any more big cats this evening. I think we're going to spend some time looking for the smaller things. So we're going to be looking for any beetles that may be crawling out onto the road. I really want to see my first flap-neck chameleon since being back in South Africa. Haven't been able to check that off of the list just yet. Maybe a scops or a pearl spotted owlet. That'd be quite nice too. A bat. Another nightjar. I think a nightjar and a scrub hare we can almost guarantee, if I'm going to be a little bit arrogant, just because there's so many of them around. However, the others will be difficult to find. What about a bush baby? I bet you all would like to see a bush baby. Scott got some the other night, which was quite a nice sighting of. Seb, actually, I think you were on camera with him. Yeah. Was it a nice sighting?
Yes.
Looked like it from the... I think I just walked in after bushwalk, in fact. So we'll be looking for things like that. And who knows, it's been such a warm day, there's also a possibility of seeing some snakes coming out onto the road. So I've still got my hopes up and hopefully finding a puff adder. There we go. Our first nocturnal creature. I'm not going to put, if you go up just a little bit from my spotlight, I'm not actually spotting it. Keep going. Keep going up. There it is. No, it was a classic reveal. Well done. So I'm not going to keep the light on the scrub here, but I just wanted to point it out that there is a little scrub here sitting on the road. Come out of hiding, which would have been underneath a tree, a shrub, underneath a fallen log, keeping away from the heat of the day and the sun. And it even seems like the scrub here is a little bit on the hot side too. Look how it's breathing quite heavily. Its whole body is moving slightly. Very nice. Very relaxed. But, again, I don't want to keep the spotlight on it, so we shall carry on and let it go on with its ventures. We'll put the infrared on in a minute. Actually, we're going to do that right now, in fact. So, while we put our infrared on, it seems as though Scott's managed to relocate on Hosana. Let's go and see what he looks like in black and white.
Welcome back, everybody. We are still sitting and waiting patiently here with young Hosana. We've got our infrared lights on. It's getting a bit dark now, and we really are hoping that he's going to take us on a little bit of an infrared adventure where we can spy on him using no lights that are visible to our eyes or any other animal's eyes, really. And some exciting stuff happened. I'm not sure if Taylor's filled you in, but the Nkuhuma pride sadly crossed into our property, crossed out of our property, and then chased a pack of wild dogs off their kill. That would have been nice to see. But happy that the Nkuhuma pride have got a little bonus meal. And happy to hear that all the wild dogs escaped unscathed, being the most successful predator that roams these plains. Well, not really plains, this wilderness. They'll be able to make a kill relatively easily. I'm not too sure exactly the finer details of how much of the kill the lions managed to get and what exactly it was. I'm guessing it was probably an impala and probably not much remaining, because wild dogs eat incredibly fast. So the lions probably only got a bit of a snack. And who knows, maybe they'll decide to come back onto Djuma after their pilfered meal, and maybe they'll be around for us in the morning. We've been spoiled rotten though recently. Lots of big cats around, especially leopards. I mean, it's ridiculous. What are you hearing, Hosana? Oh, it was the geese flying away. That's what he's watching. There goes your dinner, buddy. You're going to have to make a plan B. But yeah, we've been seeing so many different male leopards. Hukumuri, Tamba, Hosana, Djuma last night. It was just Tingana, the old guy who we used to see more than anyone, missing off the list. But I mean, we could, in theory, if we see Tingana tomorrow, we would have seen 5 males within the space of 36 hours, which will be absolutely fascinating. And it'll be nice to add Tundi and her cub to the list as well, even though they're not males. Not as nearly as many leopards females moving around as there are males, but we'll take whatever we can get for the time being. Mina, you would like to know, why do leopards wag their tails? Well, to be honest, I've never really seen a leopard wag their tail like a dog, just to not confuse anyone. They kind of, I would like to say, rather twitch their tail, and it's just the tip, really, that twitches ever so slightly from side to side. He's looking at another goose that just flew over. Yeah, I mean, it's an emotional indicator when they're excited or thinking about things. I haven't, been able to work out any exact correlations as to when they twitch their tail, but it's some form of indicator of their emotions, their excitement, their thought processes. Sometimes they'll hold their tail up high, kind of arching it towards their head, when they've been spotted by animals, almost as like, okay guys, you've got me, I've put my hands up, I come in peace, just leave me to walk through your area, I'm not trying to creep up on anyone, you can see me holding my tail up, I don't mean anything nasty. So sometimes they do that. He really is tuned in this evening, whipping his head around when he hears something that excites him. Christina, you'd like to know if the leopards feel the change that's going on with the males. And yes, they will certainly be 100% clued in to what's going on with the males, and if they're not, well, they are not clever, because it's very important that females know what's going on with the males that roam their territory, mainly because they're a massive threat to any cubs that they may have, but even possibly to themselves as adults. If they try and defend a cub, a rogue male could kill them. Ooh, a nightjar just flew past him. I'm not sure if you saw a little blur go through the screen there. So yeah, I think the females definitely know what's going on. Again, sadly, I think we miss so much of what actually happens here after dark, and even during the day. There's just a lot of stuff that happens here where we are not around to document it or to be able to learn from and understand what behavior is going on and how much the leopards do understand. And I mean, that's just us being there to see things. Then of course there's the fact that it's difficult for us to try and comprehend. When we heard Djuma calling last night, was Tundi nearby? Could she hear it was him? Did she know it was him? Was she comfortable with the fact that it's him? Because he's been marching along that same cut line for many years now, so that's kind of stable and not a threat to her. Whereas the Hukumuri male, who was in all likelihood the male that was vocalizing in and around the dam cam last night, what does she think when she hears his vocalization? Did she come closer? Did she run away? There's just so much it would be very difficult for us to just kind of guess, what's going on and how much they know about what's happening. So, yeah, that's why I prefer to, rather than hypothesizing, rather try and kind of wait and just see what happens as and when we get lucky and see an interesting kind of event happen. It's kind of like saying, what would happen if you put Bob and Susie on Mars together? It depends on Bob. Yeah, what Bob and Susie's moods are, who Bob and Susie are, whether they're compatible, and you get lots of different Bobs and Susies on the planet. So that's my take on that. Okay, how much time have we got left? 20 minutes. Come on, boy, take us for a stroll. You can have another 5 minutes snoozing and then we expect some action from you. Very good. We're going to send you across to Taylor to see what she's getting up to.
Right, sadly, still no chameleons to report. However, we did put our infrared light on, so at least we got one thing done. Now, let us be serious. Serious pants on, patience pants off. Let's find these chameleons. I cannot believe I haven't seen one yet. I mean, I used to be good at this, finding these chameleons, spotting them all the way up in the trees. But I don't know why they've all been hiding from me since I've been back. Perhaps they've gone, Taylor, you've been too spoiled by the bush. You've seen leopards, you've seen lions, you've seen wild dogs, you've seen cool birds, you've seen all the things. You cannot see us. So they may be hiding away from me. But we're in Gwari Central now. Lots and lots of Gwari trees, and you can find chameleons sitting on them. I still have yet to notice a particular tree that chameleons prefer. And that's actually often a question we get, is what types of trees do chameleons sit on? And I suppose any tree is fine as long as it's got a bit of cover. And because you don't want to be sitting out on just a dead branch. Now, do you? Please move, scrub hair. Thank you. Just asking the scrub hair very politely to move out of the way. Let's have a little look here. Still searching. Now, Cool Breeze, you're wondering if they do road maintenance regularly. They do indeed. Now, typically you'll find the guys going out with the tractors and the big graders just after we've had a bit of rain and the ground is compacted nicely, not so much dust around. It's the best time to sort of either resurface roads or even just to regrade them again. So they do. However, there's a couple of roads that seem to have deteriorated, but it's the same roads that deteriorate quite often. And normally what it's from is not necessarily the vehicles driving fast. We see the corrugations, not on all these little roads meandering sort of through the reserve, but on the outskirts, so the boundary roads, Triple M, Gowrie Main, Buffelshoek Boundary. These are the roads that get the corrugations. Out here I find that when we have torrential downpours, often that is the number one cause of the deterioration in the roads. And then of course we go driving on them, and it's fairly sandy up here in the northern Sabi Sands. There's only a couple of roads that have got the black cotton soil, unlike the Masai Mara and the Mara Triangle, which pretty much at least 3/4 of it is black cotton soil. You have to drive on it. You don't really have a choice. So without the black cotton soil, that helps us a little bit, but it still creates huge erosions down in the ground and that water sort of channels through. So that's no good. So then they have to repair them. But then again, those roads that are really badly deteriorated, I find we don't actually drive on a regular basis. The ones that we are driving quite often are maintained fairly well. Often, you'll just go out for a run and you'll see old Rexon on his tractor dragging tires, just trying to give the roads a little bit of a helping hand to sort of fix them all up. Now, I found so many chameleons down here before, and so I've actually ventured down this way and back towards Gowrie Gate. Also, who knows if the wild dogs are going to cross. They could be on the move tonight. It's such a lovely evening. No need for a jersey. You can see we're still in short sleeves and a shirt. No, short sleeve shirt and shorts is what I meant to say. So Justin's giving me some advice, but I didn't quite hear the entire advice because I had to turn the game drive radio. Oh, hang on, wait. Who's making noise here? There's a bird in the road. What you making noise for? We're going to probably... Sebastian has just told me he's going into infrared, so we're going into infrared. There we go. I can hear them. It sounds like thick knees. Oh no, they've gone far away now. They were sitting here. Maybe some spotted thick knees. They're quite far down on the road. Let's venture slightly further forward, and I think we'll get them again. We're making some interesting sounds. Sorry, Faith, can I please have Justin's advice again? Because I kind of forgot what he said. It was some advice about chameleons. I need it. Fair enough. So Justin says I should look for the chameleons like I look for my socks, because if I'm not looking for them, then I'll find them. Typical, isn't it? Well, we're going to try our best to find a good old chameleon, and, well, the thick knees are not cooperating either, so I'm going to send you back to Scott, who hopefully will cooperate better than the birds.
Yes, Hosana is up and on the move, thankfully, and I'm guessing he may come and have another short drink and another little puddle over here. So I just want to get up ahead of him. He's just off to our right. Let's see what happens here. Well, we got lucky and we didn't have to wait too long for him to decide to get up and take us on a stroll. Let's see where he heads from here. He was directly off to our right, so I'm guessing he's going to continue up towards us. No immediate sign of him. Where are you hiding, young Hosana? I want to try and not use the spotlight if I don't need to, so we'll just give it a moment or two. Just be patient for a second. Cool Breeze, you wondering if we would continue watching Hosana after the safari ends this evening? Probably not. I'm feeling a little bit sick at the moment, so I'm going to go home and rest. And it's usually kind of, if the lions are around or if there's a leopard with a kill, we may go out after drive to show some of the staff a bit of a good time and get them out and about. Otherwise they'll go crazy, staying in camp all the time. And I don't think we will come out this evening, although we might. Another reason why, if he's on the move and doing his thing, we don't use the work vehicles, these vehicles that we own for our kind of staff joyrides. Let me just move forward a bit and try to work out where he's gone. We keep them for business only. What on earth is the spotlight? And without infrared lighting, it can be quite intrusive to follow an animal after dark, even though it's done quite wildly around Africa. The fact that I've been spoilt and got to see how effective it is to follow animals using infrared lighting, I am inclined to try and only do that, if at all possible. I was just hiding behind the damn wall. It was just a little bit tucked away the whole time we were sitting there. And we'll see him now. What are you sniffing about there? The other catch is this area that we're in, Cool Breeze, is right in front of one of the camps. So kind of anything beyond 7:30 in the evening is a kind of a no-go to be driving around in front of the guests who are trying to enjoy the peace and tranquility of the African wilderness. So that would also make it a little bit tricky with the spot that he's in for the time being. I wonder what he can smell there. Possibly some poop of an antelope. Leopards do like to eat antelope poop. Veronica, you'd like to know what the leopards do at night. Do they hunt or sleep? Well, you'll probably find they do a combination of the two. They sleep for a lot of time every day, 16 to 20 hours, which means, of course, there's only 4 to 8 hours of movement, which means there's lots of sleep, mainly during the day, but also at night. So I guess just like anyone who has domestic cats, you know full well that your cats sleep during the day and the night, but there's an increased likelihood of them being active after dark. They like the cover of darkness. Here in Africa, they like the cool weather as well. It's Hosana. No sign of Tamba at the kill, and Hosana made his way south along that 2 track when we found him. Sorry guys, I'm just updating one of the safari vehicles as to what's going on. He's just stationary at the waterhole between the two, the smaller pumped one and the bigger one at Vuyatela. Yes, Stevie, thanks for confirming that you agree that some rest will be useful for me and my recovery as I try and shake off this weird little flu cold thingy that I've got. It's nothing serious. Copy that. You're welcome to join me up. Alrighty, sorry guys, there's just a few people who are making their way into the sighting, so I just can't leave them hanging when they talk to me on the radio. And speaking of things hanging about, it sounds like Taylor has found you guys an interesting specimen.
Whew. Finally, everyone, a chameleon. My first one since I've been back at Djuma. How epic is this? Now, it's quite camouflaged, and I've actually just moved the light off of it slightly. And the reason why I've done that is because you can see that that chameleon's eyes are closed. It is fast asleep. I should probably whisper, hey, so I don't wake him. Oh, it doesn't seem too bothered, but I obviously don't want to put a bright light on top of him. He's not going to be, well, I say him, and I don't actually know if it's a male or a female. But eyes closed. They typically come out like this at night and will have a snooze. They're more active during the day. In fact, that's when they'll be doing feeding. Sometimes you can see them at night moving around on the branches. But tonight, we've got a chameleon that is fast asleep, which was actually quite cool to see. They're such beautiful ones. Yeah, Seb's going to change to infrared now. He wants to have a look and see what it looks like. It'll be quite nice. Ah, hello. Have I turned my light off? I don't have to put my light on now. Now, that really blends in. You can just see their camouflage. Actually, it works quite well in black and white. Paul, are you wondering if the chameleons will migrate at all? I've never seen a migrating chameleon. Well, I suppose for a chameleon, even if it moved 100 meters, that would be a serious migration. So, hang on, Paula, let me change my answer. So perhaps they do local migrations. Maybe this chameleon has just recently moved to this tree. Perhaps the tree that he was living on before didn't quite have as many insects as it was hoping for, and thought, right, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to go and find food elsewhere. And I suppose they will do that too. But right now he's not going to be interested in eating anything whatsoever. And he's going to stick on that branch, hold on tight. You can see his little feet sort of grasped. Holding on tightly is what I'm trying to get to. And it almost looks like it's actually resting its head on its foot, don't you think? It actually kind of does look like its front right leg. Looks like it's got it underneath his chinny chin, using it as a bit of a pillow. But that's quite nice to see his eyes all closed. Faith, who's directing today, says that this chameleon looks like a fossiled dinosaur. I suppose especially in the infrared. It looks quite different. And Kirsty was saying the other night, we were talking about, I can't believe how that bird was holding onto that branch as it roosted. I suppose the chameleon's doing the same thing on its little rocking chair. Maybe it's a comforting sort of feature as it sits there. And I wonder how long chameleons sleep for. I'm actually not sure about that. However, I'd imagine it would be a couple of hours or so, but very nice. What a great find, finally, my first one. I'm going to send you back to Scott, though, because Hosana is slinking through the bush.
Well, he's kind of just slinking around this waterhole, and he actually, I don't know if he just kind of ran after a frog or if a bat caught his attention, but he kind of just had a hop, a skip, and a pounce, but not too sure what he was hoping to latch onto. Seems like he's just checking the perimeter of this waterhole. We might get a little bit of a blowout there as he comes too close to us, but Dave's too slick on the camera for that to happen. And I guess we just have to wait for him to pop out. There he is. He's just popped out onto the other side, sniffing around very, very intently. Well done to Taylor for finding that little chameleon. Really, really cool seeing them. It's times like this that I'd really, really love to know exactly what's happening. What senses, what smells are they picking up? What are they thinking? What is exciting them here? Hard to be certain. Clearly, it is something. There's the old phlegm grimace, which is allowing him to better process those smells from a special organ in the upper lip. Let's see if he has another pull and reprocess. CJ, you're saying that you've noticed Hosana's putting on some weight, and yes, he certainly is. He's growing up to be an impressive young male already, and I'm looking forward to following his future and seeing how big and strong he ends up. Let's hope it's not too far from here. Let's hope he doesn't do a Hukumuri and head all the way 100 kilometers away to the Crocodile Bridge. Excuse me. That's where the Hukumuri male came from. Now it looks like whatever the smell is that's exciting him is very, very close to our vehicle. Let's see if it doesn't bring him even closer. Maybe it's from Tundi last night, maybe it's from Tumba being in the area, maybe it's from some possible prey. Having a good old sniff about. Sadly, in this long grass, it's just very difficult to tell or see exactly what he is doing. Veronica, you have got a little bit confused. You would like to know, is Hosana, where does he kind of fit in, and where's Tingana? Who's Tingana? Basically, how it works is Tingana is the old dominant male of Djuma, and he kind of came in and established himself about 3 years ago. And more recently, he's got some competition from another male called the Hukumuri male. So those are the two older males that are vying for dominance. And then we've got this youngster, who's 2 years old, just over 2 years old, called Hosana, as well as another youngster who's around, just younger than this guy, called Tumba. So it's 4 males really that we see here. Having said that, we did see another one who's kind of, his territory spans to the north from our northern boundary. His name is Djuma. But yeah, when there's lots of leopards around, it can be a little bit confusing, but don't worry, Veronica. A few more safaris and you'll be in full swing. I wonder if he's going to jump up into this bush. I've got a feeling he might. Sometimes they kind of like to really rub up against certain bushes, and this looks like one that he might try and do just that. Come on, buddy. Show us the vertical. No. Kathy, yes, if we did have lion poop on our tires, he would certainly react. He would be a little bit cautious. What was that? I just heard some noise. Was it him just kind of bounding through the bushes there? Dave's done incredibly well to keep up with him there. And we do have some other guests enjoying the sighting with us, and they can't see a thing because we're viewing in infrared. But they've been very sporting and not been using their flashlight. But I'm feeling quite bad because, of course, they can't see anything. It's just us that can see. It is the way of the future, though. Every vehicle should be kitted with infrared as technology becomes more affordable, because it is definitely the least impact and best way to go about viewing animals after dark. Where has he slunk off to? Let's see if we can reposition. Oh no, he's about to pop up into view. He's heading away from us there. Well done, Dave. What are your plans, young Hosana? Are you going to go back and check out Tumba's kill site? Search for a few scraps there? I wonder. Okay, now when they disappear, without the assistance from their infrared light, we're going to battle to see anything. So I'm kind of torn as to what to do now for the last 2 minutes. Any suggestions? Let's just spy on him from here with the spotlight. Very good. I wonder what's getting his attention in there. Definitely something. It appears to be hiding underneath this fallen down tree. Whee! Excusing everyone. Blessings. Probably gave some of you guys a heart attack. Apologies for that. Well, very good everyone. And I hope you've all enjoyed the sunset. Sorry, a bug just flew into my mouth. The sunset safari. We've loved having you guys on board, and as always, all your comments and contributions have made the safari an absolute joy. So thanks so much, and thanks to the team in the final control room here, slaving away behind closed walls and doors, as well as our tech team. Make sure you tune in to the Sunrise Safari. Who knows what kind of crazy action might be unfolding.